fun being here.
I hate to tell Stephen A. something. I hate to tell you something. First Take fans are kind of like Cowboy fans, Stephen A. It's not just that they travel, it's that they're everywhere.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between First Take fans and Cowboy fans. First Take fans care about winners. Remember that. Remember that. Don't ever.
Not here for winners.
Don't ever confuse First Take fans with Cowboy fans. First Take fans would never tolerate 22 years of mediocrity. It would not happen.
That is true.
It would not happen.
We so appreciate all of you guys coming out. Thank you so much. It's so fun when we have a live crowd. But we got a special treat for you here. Do you see this empty chair?
That's right.
Am I right? You know who that's
Where's
for?
my man?
Philly greatness, Donovan McNabb. Get out here. There he is. Looking clean in the three-piece.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Grab a seat.
Now this is what I'm talking about, Artie.
What's up, big time?
Oh,
well, I
it's
just
been a
happened
while.
to hear the conversation that was going on about these great fans of Philadelphia. Yes, they care about winners.
That's right.
No Cowboy fans here.
None.
No
I
question.
saw one. I see one.
He doesn't count.
There's always one just floating around somewhere.
In the weeds?
Security will remove any Cowboy fan.
All right.
Okay?
Relax.
At my discretion. At my discretion. They will be removed.
All right.
All right.
It's draft day. We ready to do this?
Let's do this.
All right, let's work. So the Cleveland Browns have not been exactly the model of success when it comes to the draft. They had 14 picks last year, and it had little effect on the record. 26 different starters at quarterback since 1999. At this point, it seems like the Browns are deciding between defensive end Myles Garrett and quarterback Mitch Trubisky. Stephen A., I'll start with you. What should the Browns do with that #1 overall pick?
Well, first of all, let's focus on what they shouldn't do. They shouldn't draft a quarterback. In 1999, it's very, very important to point out, very important draft in the history of the Philadelphia Eagles, because the #2 overall pick in that draft happens to be sitting next to me, Donovan McNabb. Now, let me be very, very clear. It's very, very important. The Cleveland Browns of all organizations should pay rapt attention to today's draft. They better not make this mistake again. They better not screw it up, because they had the #1 overall pick in that 1999 NFL draft. And who did they pick? Tim Couch. Last time I checked, the man probably delivers couches. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's not quarterbacking.
Are you mean to tell me that Donovan McNabb had a better career than Tim
Yes,
Couch? Are you sure you want to go out on that limb?
I think so. I think I'm going to go out on that limb. But let me take this a step further, because we pointed out 26 quarterbacks in the last 18 years. Let me throw something out. Did y'all know that also the Cleveland Browns in their history, they had an opportunity to get Julio Jones. They traded that guy for 5 picks. 5 picks. Sounds like a good deal, right? But check out who the picks were, Max. Trent Richardson, Brandon Weeden, Phil Taylor, Greg Little, and some two, Owen Marisico. I don't know what the hell this man is. I think that's the appropriate pronunciation for his name. My point is, these are not individuals that were known for having an impact, certainly not to the level of Julio Jones. So we've got that going on. We've got only 2 players from the 2014 NFL draft, first round. Only 2 players are out of the NFL that were picked in the first round. Both of them were Cleveland Browns. Right. Justin Gilbert and Johnny Manziel. I mean, everywhere you turn ain't nothing but an aptitude. This is the kind of stuff that's going on. So if Cleveland is smart, don't draft a damn quarterback. Go with the safe bet. You need an edge rusher. You were second fewest in sacks last year. Myles Garrett is the man that you have to snatch, because everybody has said he's the #1 talent in the draft. You've got to play it safe. You've got 2 first round, 2 second round, 2 third round picks. You got 22 picks over the next 2 damn years. Don't mess it up. Take somebody that's a guarantee. Myles Garrett seems to be the closest thing to that.
Well, I'll say this. First of all, I have an answer for who they should draft, but let me start by talking about what you just brought up. The problem with an organization like Cleveland is not only that they don't, or haven't in recent years, identified talent like a team, say, like the Patriots, who seems to know exactly what they're looking at. But once you get that talent, you need a system in place where you know what kind of player you're looking for, how they fit in, and then you need to coach them up. Then you need to develop them. So Cleveland has been lacking in all those areas. If you have the #1 overall pick, what you cannot do is take a flyer. You can't take a flyer like, oh, I like this guy's upside. That would be Trubisky. Right? You're taking a flyer. 13 games you don't know. Now, I know they may be burnt from last year, or Carson Wentz, because a little bit of a similar circumstance. You know, what teams is he really playing against? I know people like the cut of his jib, but we don't really know. And so they may be feeling burnt. Oh, we need to grab the quarterback. I disagree. They have a lot of holes to fill. Yep. They're picking multiple times in the first round. Right. I like Deshaun Watson at 12, so, I mean, I think that's great.
Who do you like at #1?
At #1, you need high upside, but you're not banking on the highest upside. You want the highest upside with also the highest low side.
You're making me very nervous.
He ain't going to be bad.
Who's #1?
The answer is your guy, Jalen Adams. He's the guy, the safety. You listen to
Jalen Adams.
Gracious.
Yes, you listen to Louis Riddick and guys like that. I have yet to hear one question mark about that guy. All I hear is he's going to be excellent for like 10 years, and some people think he's going to be great. So you take a guy where you cannot miss. The worst he's going to be is really good, and the best he's going to be is great. You don't take
Max,
a flyer.
let me go ahead and pull this needle out so I can bust your bubble. You'll never draft a safety as the #1 pick.
I was getting ready to go there. Thank you.
I love where you were going with Trubisky. Trubisky, to me, is more of a mid-first round to late first-round draft pick. Now, I know everyone wants to get excited about his upside, but what is his upside? What, the fact that he played 13 games and he played a pretty decent year? That's not an upside because of his size. Well, he's not Andrew Luck, so we can stop talking about his mobility. We can stop talking about his arm strength. That means nothing. Deshaun Watson is a winner. The #1 pick to me should be Jonathan Allen, defensive tackle from Alabama. Can play the inside, be disruptive for a lot of defenses. He's more of a Richard Seymour, and we've seen what Richard Seymour did in New England and also in Oakland toward the end of his career.
But if you take a defensive tackle, then you better get Aaron Donald. You're criticizing a safety as the #1 pick.
Everyone criticized Aaron Donald because he's only 6 feet. But the thing is, you have to have an identity for this football team. What is the identity for this football team? We don't know. We don't even know what type of defense they're trying to run. We don't know what offense they're going to run. So if you're trying to get a quarterback or an outside linebacker, maybe a defensive end, yeah, he can rush the passes, but sometimes he's going to have to drop in the zone.
Right.
There's going to be some times where he's going to have to be double teamed. Can he handle the double
team? I thought Allen should have won the Heisman, to tell you the truth. Well, I don't know if I would take him #1 overall.
Is he an Ndamukong Suh? No, he's not, but he's very close to being a Ndamukong Suh if he's healthy. So that's why I say the safe pick is Jonathan Allen, and then you can build around him.
Here's the deal. Your definition of safe is different than mine, because when I'm thinking about it, first of all, let's be real about something here. You get word of mouth. It does matter, particularly in the NFL, because everybody has to take into consideration the noise that's reverberating everywhere. And when you hear the noise about the overall talent, you hear Myles Garrett. You hear that there is a distinction between him and Jonathan Allen. I think Jonathan Allen's big time. Yeah. Obviously, Roll Tide, baby. He played with Alabama. He has cachet. We understand that.
Sometimes I think he went to Alabama.
You know what? I wish I would have. I wish I would have, and I wish I had about 150 more pounds on me. I could have played football. But here's the reality of the situation. That is not reality. And when we look at it from this perspective in terms of Myles Garrett, if the aficionados are proclaiming that there is a difference, talent-wise, impact-wise, on the NFL level between Garrett and Jonathan Allen, I got to listen to that. Now, Donovan McNabb, I got to defer to this brother right here because he knows football, and I'm looking at it from the standpoint, if you're saying that the talent level is comparable, then I get you. But if there is a discrepancy where you point, let me get to your point, because you poured out, hey, you can't take a flyer. I agree with that. The flip side to it is that you don't have to have a system and a scheme for the #1 overall pick. For the #1 overall pick, it's about who the best talent is.
Okay.
And we've been hearing Garrett. We've been hearing Garrett.
I don't think it's just the best talent. I think it's the best talent with the fewest question marks. The most surefire thing, you ain't going to mess up. You're going to have him for 7, 8, 10 years at an elite level. Like, if you knew you could get Earl Thomas with the #1 pick, you wouldn't take that even though he's a safety?
Well, Garrett, the question about Garrett is his mode in other terms, his want to, which is a big deal, but it's never been about his talent.
The reason I like Allen about him covering the slot. I know we like to talk about his ability and be able to cover the slot. I still question that on the NFL level. Collegiate level, yeah, you're playing against the third wide receiver, but in the NFL level, he may be the best wide receiver, but they put him in the slot.
Now, I don't mind the defensive tackle point of view. I'm just saying it's inconsistent with the idea. You don't take a safety. Well, then don't take a D tackle. Everyone talks about the edge rusher. You got to have an elite edge rusher. That's because the quarterback is so important. So first quarterback, then elite edge rusher. But I do agree with the point of view that guy in the middle, if you can get a dominant player in the middle to collapse the pocket, that's the whole shooting match. That takes mediocre edge rushers and makes them better. That makes your entire defense
But that doesn't address your point about the safety, because, listen, I'm a big fan of Adams. You know the brother's big time at LSU. Right. My point to you is Donovan talked about that safety position. The reason I don't like a safety at number one is because I think that you can avoid them. Yes. I think that you can you can basically neutralize them and make them unimpactful. It's almost like the center fielder that's out there and somebody's hitting singles all day. That's what I'm saying. That's my problem with safety.
Why are you passing on Garrett?
The thing about it, look, you look through his career, and I know Booger McFarland broke it down, and I listen to Booger McFarland because he's a defensive lineman who understands what he's looking at. And when I'm playing against a defensive lineman, is there a way that we can block him one-on-one? Now, in the NFL, he's going against some of the best tackles in the game. All backside tackles, meaning the left tackles, are supposed to be the best athlete on that offensive line. Can he get around him one-on-one? Now, he'll be double-teamed because he's the #1 pick. But if you have an interior defensive lineman that would just disrupt everything you do offensively, a Warren Sapp, an Ndamukong Suh, a Sean Gilbert back in the day, or put Reggie inside sometime, Reggie White.
If you think that's Jonathan Allen, but my big point is if you don't think that's Jalen Adams, fine. My point is if you're picking #1, particularly if you're the Cleveland Browns, forget about need, forget about who has the highest upside. You cannot miss with the #1 pick.
You can't miss.
You better take a Pro Bowl caliber player.
But both of y'all, you can't miss. You're absolutely right. But let me get back to your point about Jonathan Allen. Warren Sapp and Ndamukong Suh. I get all of that. When they talk about Myles Garrett, they talk about his speed. And I think that when you're talking about a dude that can disrupt you because of his speed, because clearly no matter how big you are, no matter how strong you are, there's going to be an offensive lineman that's bigger and stronger with them big beer belly dudes rolling around and meat potato. I mean, come on now.
Talk about my beat hooks like that.
It's just the truth, damn it. It ain't an insult, but it's the truth. All I'm saying is speed negates and neutralizes all of that. When I think about Jonathan Allen, I think about size, I think about power. When I think about Garrett, I think about speed. What's the biggest disruptor? Speed. Jadeveon Clowney has elevated himself in our mind's eye over the last season because of his speed. His motor, and his want-to and the injury. We question that. Not size, though.
I like collapse in the pocket. That's a good idea.
Absolutely. You know, when you're a quarterback and that pocket's coming into your chest,
a whole different ballgame.
A whole different ballgame.
That's true.
Myles Garrett, Jonathan Allen, Jalen Adams. There it is. Let's get to the offensive side of the ball and talk a little quarterbacks, gentlemen. So Todd McShay with his final mock draft is out right now ahead of the draft tonight. And here's how he has the quarterback shaking out going in the first round. He has the Browns taking Mitchell Trubisky.